Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates Rehab Relax. And today I'm going to guide you through a gentle Pilates routine in standing. Remember to work at your own pace. It might even be that you don't complete the full workout. The majority of the exercises at the start will be for the legs, so there's going to be lots of standing work. You might have a chair next to you, you might even have one either side of you, so always be safe. If you're uncertain about your balance, just go at a gentle pace, and it might be that you even do this with somebody else around just in case you're having any problems. I would also say that even if you don't complete the workout, that's fine. I'd rather you did a small amount and came back to it again without feeling too sore. I'll be doing about 5 of each of the exercises, and if you're not comfortable with that exercise, it might even be that you pass on that one and wait until we do the next exercise. The majority of the exercise at the start of the routine will be aimed at our legs, and then we're going to move on to doing some arm and upper body work. And when we go to do the stuff for the arms and upper body, you can do that sat in a chair if you wanted to. So I'll give you some prompts as we go, and hopefully you'll find the right option for you, and we'll enjoy today's class, and it will be about half an hour long or thereabouts. And remember, if you're interested in keeping in touch with all of the stuff I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed today's workout, click the like button, and if you've got any suggestions, then leave a comment and we'll get started. Right, so first of all, let's start off with a few warm-up movements. If we begin with some gentle neck rotation, so first of all looking over your right shoulder, back to the middle, and over your left shoulder. And one more time over either side. That's good. And we'll take that rotation down to the upper body now. Let's do some swinging from side to side. That's great. And we'll do a little bit of marching on the spot just to warm those legs up a little bit. And if you notice, I've got a chair that I'm using here for some support. You might even have a table in front of you or even a chair either side, but when you're doing your workout, I want you to make sure it's a clutter-free environment where you're not going to bang into the furniture or trip over things. And if the dog or cat's getting in the way, it might be that you put them in another room for the next half hour. That's great. And let's just do a little bit of ankle movement to finish off our warm-up. Same on the other side. And again. And through today's workout, we're also going to have that strong focus on posture that we do with Pilates. So I'm thinking about my feet being directly underneath where my hips are, which is roughly where the creases of your trousers would be. We're also thinking about that action of centering the pelvis, and what I'm looking for that nice centered pelvis is that mid position, so I'm neither all the way back nor all the way forwards. I'm in that halfway point there, and hopefully if you've achieved that, you've got a nice soft curve in the back there. The other thing that we're looking for is where our weight distribution is. And again, for good alignment, for good posture with Pilates, my earlobe, my shoulder, my hip, the midpoint of my knee and my ankle should all be in a nice vertical line there. So the temptation with standing is to slouch, and if you notice, my weight's forwards and over my toes there, and what I'm looking for is that nice upright position where you could draw, if you hung a plumb line, if you drew a straight line hanging down, sort of my earlobe, my shoulder, my hip and my ankle, they should all be in a nice straight line there. Maybe next time you're in a queue at a supermarket, think about how you're standing and you can practice that good posture there. So we're going to use some of those principles now to start to engage the ankle muscles. So you can either be holding on to a chair or a table, or you can be near it for some security. You might even have a chair behind you now, but find this good position. You've centered your pelvis, engage the core slightly, and what I want you to try and do for me is bring your weight forwards over the fronts of the feet, but again you're going to keep that lengthened spine, and then bring our weight back over the heels. And again, be careful, don't fall backwards, and it might even be you've got a chair behind you as you're doing this. So I bring my weight forwards. Now these are the muscles that we use for our balance. So by practicing this as an exercise, it's helping to improve those balance reactions and strengthen those muscles, but safety definitely comes first here. And again, if in doubt, always have a chair behind you while you're doing this exercise. So I bring my weight forwards over the ankles, and then backwards over the ankles. That's good. And we're going to apply the same principles, but this time doing them sway sideways. So let's practice bringing our weight over one foot. So if I hang a plumb line down now, I'm looking for is my nose and my belly button are directly over the top of that foot, and then back to the middle, and then over the other side. So again, my nose, my belly button are directly in a vertical line over my big toe on this foot. Let's do a few more of those. So when you're walking, you need to transfer your weight from one side to the other. And sometimes we're not as good as that as we'd like to think. So by practicing this as an exercise, it's really working our glutes and our tummy. And again, bringing the weight over, and we're standing tall there. Make sure you're squeezing your bottom muscles, drawing those tummy muscles in slightly. Back over again. So again, thinking about that good posture, and the temptation is to look down, isn't it? But we want you to be looking in front. And again, you might have a secure surface in front of you as you're doing this. So I'm going to face towards the chair, and you can too. Now, you might have a grumbly knee at home, in which case this could be an exercise that irritates you if you go too far with it. So what I'm aiming for is a gentle squat, and that could be sort of a half squat. It might even be, if you've got bad knees, that you literally just go a couple of inches, absolutely fine. You work at your pace, an intensity that suits you, and you can either be holding on to the chair, or again, if you wanted to engage your arms a little bit, you could actually have the arms going up in front of you. So you pick what's right for you. And again, if you're finding that this is a bit too irritable on your legs, or your balance isn't great, then it might actually be that you focus more on a class in seated or laying to begin with. Build up your leg strength a bit. That's great. So that was 5 gentle squats there. So we're now going to move on to doing some stepping exercises. Again, you need to gauge the level of support you need at home. It might be you've got one chair right next to you that you hold on to. You might even have a chair either side of you. It might be you feel confident with standing independently. And equally with the stepping, a small step is going to be a lot easier than taking a much bigger step. So you do what works well with you. If we start off on your right hand side, we're going to do 5 steps on one side and then 5 on the other. So here we go. So let's work on drawing that tummy muscle in as we step forwards and then back again. So again, engage that tummy, forward we go and back. And then swap to the other side. So again, draw those muscles in as you stride forwards. That's great. Well, We're going to now do that in a slightly more interesting way. When we're walking along, the world isn't straight in front of us. Sometimes we need to step to the side to move out of the way of things or move around things. So we're actually going to practice stepping forwards, stepping to the side, and stepping behind us. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So stepping forwards, beside us, and behind. So again, you might have a chair with you for some support. Again, if you don't need it, I'm going to move mine out of the way slightly. If you're looking for an increased challenge and to use your arms, we can actually do some arm movements alongside this. So as we go to step forwards, we bring the arms out in front of us. As we go to step backwards, we can do like a hundreds position. And as we step to the side, we can move the arms out to the side. So we'll move in a pattern. We'll do your right hand side first, and then we'll go on to do the left, and we'll do a couple of goes of each of those. So here we go, stepping in front of us, we engage the core, arms up in front of us, out to the side, and behind us. There you go. And the same again on the other leg. So here we go, out in front of you, beside you, and behind you. So we'll do another one of those on each side. And again. I'm a bit worried when I step back that I'm going to fall into the flower bed here, which isn't going to look great on video. So again. 2, 3. Two more on each side. And this is the last one on each side. There we go. So we're now going to move on to doing a Pliet exercise. So we're going to keep our pelvis nice and centered. We've got that long spine and those wide collarbones, but we're going to step our feet just a little bit further apart now, and we're going to rotate the fronts of our feet outwards slightly. And at home, if your balance isn't very good now, it would be wise to have a chair in front of you. You won't be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm going to pretend I've got a chair there. And what we're looking to do with this exercise, again, we keep that core engaged, we keep our bottom tucked underneath us, and as we bend the knees, they come out over the tops of where our feet are, and then we come back up again. So again, you can either be holding on to a chair as you do this, or you can use the arms. Your decision. So here we go, let's do 5 of those. So down we go, engage the core, and up. There we go. So we're going to remain in this plie position as we go on to do our plie with some foot tapping. So if I demonstrate it first of all, I start in the same position, I've got my bottom tucked underneath me, engage the core, and I drop down so my knees go out over my feet. And this time I'm going to transfer my weight over to one leg, and again, you might be holding onto a chair or a table in front of you. And what I'm looking to try and do in this position is bring my other foot, so I've got all of my weight over one leg, I tap it in front of me, I tap it to the side of me, and I tap it behind me, and then back to the start position. So it's a little bit more of a challenging exercise, and if you're not comfortable with this one, then just skip it and we'll go and wait until we start the next exercise. But if you're wanting to have a go, let's start. So if you begin by bringing the weight over onto your right leg, hold in that position, engage that core, keep your bottom nice and tight, and let's bring that leg in front of us, to the side, out to behind us, and back to the start position. And let's do the same on the opposite side. So we bring our weight over that side. Again, engage your core, tap the foot in front of you, out to the side, and out behind you, and then back to the start position. So that's our leg exercises over and done with, and now we're going to focus more on exercises for the upper body and the arms. If you're not great with your standing, it might be at this point that you sit yourself in a chair. So the first exercise we're going to do is one called the dumb waiter. I'm going to bring my arms up in front of me like I'm carrying 2 trays of drinks. Remember that length of spine, those wide collarbones. And what we're looking to try and do now, as we engage those tummy muscles, is bring those hands either side of you and back in again. So it's a really nice one for warming up for the chest opener exercise we'll do in a moment. It also helps to engage some of those muscles around the shoulder blade region, and also to stretch out tight pectoral muscles. If you sit at a desk for long periods, you can sometimes get quite tight in those muscles. That's good. And we can build on that dumb waiter by doing the Cleopatra, which again I bring my arms out to the side and then turn those palms down to the floor. So again I'm going to do 5 of those. There we go. Just a nice stretch. So we're now going to do an arm opener exercise. There's 2 options, an easier version and a harder version. The easier version would be the archer's bow, where we stand in our good posture to begin with and drawing one hand back, following that movement with your line of sight, and then repeating the same on the opposite side. The slightly more challenging version is to keep the arm straight, painting a nice horizontal line, and then back to the start position. So I'll leave it down to you, and again you might even be doing these in seated at this point. So find a good start position, arm in front of you, and again I'm going to do the slightly more challenging version, but you stick with what's right for you. So if you begin with your left arm, you breathe out and back in again, and again on an outward breath, and again. And you can relax there. So most of the workout so far has had the hands below shoulder height. We're going to do an exercise that involves reaching up a little bit higher now, and that's called toy soldier. So a bit like a clockwork toy, we're going to have our arms out in front of us, and the easier option would be to reach up with one arm and then back down again, and then the same with the other. The slightly more challenging option would be to bring one arm up and the other arm down. So it's a bit of a coordination exercise. So here we go. So I'll leave you to decide which one you're going to do. But again, let's have a go. So if we start by leading with our left arm. So again, the easier option. And again, outward breath. And now I'm going to do the harder option. If I can coordinate myself. So here we go. There we go. So we're going to build on the movements we've just done with toy soldier by doing upper body reaches. And if you found the toy soldier was a little bit of a challenge, it might be that you skip this one. Start with a good position of posture, and if I demonstrate it to begin with, I want my elbows to be out at shoulder height, my hands up towards the sky and parallel with each other, and the movement will be one of reaching up. So you might start with your left arm reaching up really high, so you're really lengthening now through the side, and then back down again, and then the same on the other side. So have a go. I'm going to aim to do 5 on each arm. You might just do 1 or 2, but it's a really nice stretching exercise as we draw to a close. So here we go. Engage the core muscle, outward breath, and with your left arm reaching up and back down again, and the same on the other side. And I'm looking up towards the sky, so I reach with that hand and back down again. So that's 1 on each side. That's it, so we engage the core, outward breath, reach up, and down, and again. So we've just got a couple of movements left. The first of them is the upper body roll. This is aimed at upper body mobility. I'll demonstrate it first of all because we're just going to do a couple on each side. I'll start with my hands around where my belt line is, and what I want you to do is, if you were doing the movement towards your left, you'd slide that hand down towards your left knee as the other hand, your right hand, moves up towards the armpit. I look over towards the side, and then we bring ourselves forward to rounding our upper back, hands on the front of our thighs, and then as we come back up to the start position, we roll slowly back up again, stacking each of the vertebrae one at a time on top of each other, bringing ourselves back to that long neck and those shoulder blades nice and wide again. So let's have a go at home. So again, if you start off by having your hands on your belt line, and if you slide your left hand down towards your left knee, bring that hand up towards your armpits, and you're looking over towards your left side. And then let's bring ourselves rounded forwards. So I'm really arching the upper back, and my chin's coming down towards my chest, and then one segment at a time, stacking your vertebrae on top of each other, back to the nice upright position, finally bringing those shoulders nice and wide. And the same to the other side. So again, hands on your waistline, and this time sliding your right hand down towards your right knee. Again, looking down towards the floor, and then let's curl the upper back, hands on the front of your thighs, and then again sliding those hands back up, nice and wide with the shoulders. One more to each side. So again, hands on the waistline, sliding towards your left, down towards the floor, in front of you. And then one last time to the other side. So I'm going to finish off with a movement called the roll down, and that builds on the upper body roll that we've just done. And again, what I'm aiming to do with this, I'll demonstrate it first of all, is to slide down towards one knee, and this time I'm going to just flop down in front of me like a rag doll hanging there, and then again draw those tummy muscles in, and one vertebrae at a time, bringing yourself back up nice and tall. And then again, whatever we've done on one side, we'll do on the opposite side, and then again bringing myself back up again. So see what you feel comfortable with at home, and again you could even do this sat in a chair if you feel uncertain about your balance and things. So if we start off by doing it towards your left, so again start off nice and tall, sliding that hand down towards your knee, and then like a puppet that's had all the strings cut, just let yourself hang in front of you, hold it for a few seconds, and then draw those tummy muscles in and slowly from the tailbone all the way up towards the top of the head, stack each of those segments of your spine until you're back in that good start position, and then the same to the other side, and one last time to the other side. And there you go, we're done. So how did that go? Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to click the like button, and if you're interested in keeping up to date with all of my latest videos, then by all means click the subscribe button, and if you have any suggestions or feedback, then leave a comment below. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.